you.
Hey, we're brothers Osborne, and I want to give a big thanks to Bobby Bones for having us on today and for all of his support.
It's time to ask your Ask Us Anything questions.
All right, you want to kick this off?
I'll kick it off. We got Punky from Birmingham, an amazing name.
Love the name, Punky.
Punky from Birmingham. What's one group or artist at any format that you would pay to see? Oh man, if I could think right off the top of my head, it would be Tedeschi Trucks Band, and we're actually playing a show with him at the Ryman Auditorium in March, so we get to see it for free.
Nice. Good segue. Lisa from the Colony. Which is your favorite song on Pawnshop? And I'd have to say that my favorite song is a really country song. It's in 6/8, which is really country timing, and it has Leanne Womack singing on it. It's called Loving Me Back. And so it's definitely a dream come true to have that happen for someone like Leanne, who we're huge fans of. To come to the studio, not only sing on one of our songs, but then to be in the studio watching her sing it, it was something I'll never forget, and it was a total bucket list moment. So that's it, Loving Me Back, with featuring Leanne Womack.
This one is Sean from Frederick. What's your most meaningful tattoo and why? It's a good question. I guess every tattoo has its own meaning and own special story behind it, but I think the one, it's a quote that Jimi Hendrix popularized but did not come up with. It says, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And I have it right here, this guy around my arm. I think that's just something very meaningful to remember. You got that back there?
Can you read that?
Can you read it? So, yeah, that would be it.
That's a good one. All right. Sarah from Baltimore. When you walk into a 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
what's the first thing you grab? Slim Jim and a Yoo-Hoo.
Rose from Green Bay. What's the worst pickup line you've ever used? Oh my God. I think pretty much everything. I mean, I'm married now, so I can say whatever I want, but I'm pretty sure everything I ever said to a girl ever was the most humiliating thing you could think of. So that's a hard question, too hard to pick. Everything I say is ridiculous.
Is that a tampon, or are you just happy to see me? All right, Alyssa from Springbrook. Who's your favorite member of One Direction?
So hard to choose.
That's weird. I will say that even though they're easy to hate on, they have some songs that I think are actually pretty awesome, but I do not know them well enough to know any of their names.
I like the white one,
The white kid.
the white boy.
The white kid that can't.
That has nice hair and is really
hair,
cute, and all the girls love.
That great of a singer, so he needs like 4 other okay singers to sing with him. That's my favorite one.
That one, yeah. Okay. Casey from Columbus. What are your dressing room must-haves? Definitely gotta have a case of beer and some whiskey to get primed up for the show, and that's about it. A good ambiance is good too. You want to feel really chill and relaxed before you go on stage. So good lighting, good beer, and good whiskey.
Ryan from Florida. When was the first time you came to Nashville? What was the first thing you did? The first time I came to Nashville, John and I came down together, and we actually came down in the truck that I still drive. It's parked right out front of here right now. It was probably 15 years ago now. And the first thing we did is we went downtown on Broadway and just drove by all the honky tonks where they were playing music, and it was crazy for me. We come from a small town, and it took a long time for me to get out of there, so I felt like driving down Broadway in Nashville was being in Times Square. It was like over the top for me and overwhelming. And it's cool, and it hasn't changed at all since I've been here in the past 12, 13 years.
All right, so Patricia from Palm Harbor. Has anyone told you that Stay a Little Longer sounds a little like Toby Keith? No, actually, Patricia from Palm Harbor, you're the first.
Leah from Long Island. Who wrote the liner notes from Pawnshop? John, it was a group effort in some areas. John wrote most of the liner notes. Clearly, the things about John he didn't write about himself.
I'm very proud of
He's
myself.
very proud of himself. But yeah, John, it was, and it's hard to come up with liner notes. As you ultimately, someone's going to get left out, which is a bummer.
All right, could be pronounced multiple ways. It could be Jeannie, Jeanne, or it could be Janya from Memphis. I like Janya. How How about that?
Jeannet.
First website you visit every morning. Ooh, controversial. I do. I think one of the first things I look at is probably like social media, like our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a bad habit, but it's kind of fun.
Luckily, it's not the other way around in the last one.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to know the last one though.
Nikki from Boone. If you were able to collaborate with anyone, who would it be? I think it's a cop-out saying Lee Womack. She was on a record. We actually did do that. But it'd be cool to collaborate with one of the greats of, kind of any genre where everyone thinks are cool, like an Eric Clapton or Bruce Springsteen. That'd be really cool.
All right, Alyssa from Garner. What's the worst part and the best part about being on tour with each other? The best part is that we're brothers. We totally understand each other. We can, we know exactly what each other is thinking. I'd say the worst part is we know exactly what each other is thinking. So on one hand, it's great. We can finish each other's sentences. On the other hand,
if we want to piss each other off, it's very easy.
Yeah, it's very easy to piss each other off. But it's great. We love it.
Colleen from Philly. What kind of cars do you drive, and what are your dream cars? I don't know if you've been watching this whole video, but earlier I mentioned that I drive an old 92, well, it's not that old, but I guess to some people it is, a 92 Dodge Ram Cummins diesel. It's an old loud truck with like 260,000 miles on it. It's a truck I moved to Nashville in when I was 16. I still drive it. I just had to get some new tires on it the other day, and I forgot how expensive those were. Tires are crazy expensive.
I know, they're crazy expensive.
And dream cars, there's a long list of those, but I have the first band me and my brother ever in was called Deuce and a Quarter. It's named after a Buick Electra 225, and I have a 69 Buick Electra being restored right now, convertible two-door, and it's going to be pretty badass, and so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Alrighty. Nick from Santa Monica. How did you come up with the name Pawnshop? Well, we have a song on our record called Pawnshop, so it was kind of easy to pick from. We had 11 choices essentially, but we thought, what title track describes who we are and what we come from and where we've been, and it describes a collection of 11 songs on one record the best. And that's how we came up with Pawnshop. There's some really cool hieroglyphics going on in here.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, but it's pretty rad. I like it.
Heather from Galesville, which is just a few towns up from Deal, Maryland, where we're from. Awesome job at the Fillmore last month. We were right in the front row with our Deal.
Yeah, there's definitely some sort of weird coding. It's hieroglyphics. I think it's just Deal Bros.
I'm saying with our Deal Loves Bros shirt. Does that just get
that is what that is.
Emoji that got kind of twisted.
I don't know. It's cool.
All right, in the front row with our Deal Loves Bros shirts on. Just letting you know that we're having a Pawnshop album release party in your honor at the Elks Lodge.
Oh, that's awesome!
Thanks,
you guys.
Thank you. Love you guys. We love the Elks Lodge. Cool.
Yeah, miss you guys. Love y'all. Elena from Norfolk. When you get ready for your album, who picks the songs and the order they play? That's actually a very good question. You would think it's a very simple procedure, but it's not. It's actually something we think about a lot.
Ever changing.
Yeah, and we all just kind of talk to each other. We send some concepts around, and when you are sequencing a record, you want it to be a nice flow and tell a good story and not have any lulls. So it's definitely a collection of people who picks the songs in the order. But we're very heavily involved.
Bo from Toronto. Do you get to pick your clothes from the rack, or do you get to find stuff on the road? It's just a little hodgepodge of stuff. Sometimes we'll get it from thrift stores. Sometimes we'll get it from whatever, just a clothing store, anywhere. We usually try to buy stuff not in Nashville, because what happens in Nashville is that you end up wearing the same things everyone else is wearing. So, for instance, if we were in Toronto, we would go to some store there we've never heard of before and buy a shirt and some underwear.
All right, this is Ellis from Bowling Green. When you roll up to a bar, what's your favorite drink? There are three answers to that question. If I have to go standard, light beer, Coors Light, usually I like to do an IPA that's like a local IPA that's really good. Or if I'm going liquor, it would be a Bullet Old Fashioned.
Yeah. Jennifer from Ventura. what is your predictions for our Orioles this year? Can Buck get us out? Can Buck get us to the playoffs? When are we going to an O's game? I don't know. If it can be done, Buck can do it. I think we're missing a few blue chip players, but we all know you never know. Sometimes the O's they're definitely a team, which is nice, so they can pull it out. And I would say, when are we going to an O's game? Probably never. Probably not.
So we've got one more question, and it's not even a question. This is Sandy from Ocean City. She says, "Love Pawnshop. I have no questions. I just wanted to hear you say my name. Big fan. Love the new CD." Love you, Sandy. Thank you guys for hanging out with us
Thanks
today.
for the questions. We love all your support. Go to brothersosborne.com. Check out tour dates.